My name is Dexter Vines, and I'm a freelance comic book artist. I myself specifically am mostly a comic book, what they call an inker in comics. And basically what that entails is somebody will draw it in pencil, pass it to me, and then I will finish it off. Basically, I will embellish it and make it ready for print. It's almost kind of cliche when people say visualize, something and doing it. And it does work. I remember just, laying in my bed at night thinking about, sitting at a table, drawing comics, or sitting at a comic book convention, signing comic books, and I'm doing it. I grew up, I think like a lot of kids, just drawing for fun. It's just something I did, just, to entertain myself. I love doing it. And when I got in high school, I met a friend who was pretty serious about his art. And it kind of sparked something in me. And he really kind of got me big into comics. I kind of dabbled in comics a little bit, but nothing, I was never really a serious comic book guy until I met him. I met an artist by the name of Brian Stelfreeze, and if you're in the comic book industry, you know Brian. Brian is like the teacher, and I remember, meeting a black artist, at my first convention was like, okay, this is all I need to see, we can do it, so I, of course, gravitated right over to Brian, and, Brian being who he is the consummate teacher, so he just spent all kind of time just talking to me, so I just stood there and watched him work. And I'm pretty sure at some point during that time, I was just like, this is what I want to do. I went to school for a little while. I was at Morris Brown, marching in the band on the side. I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta briefly. Basically, once I got to the Art Institute of Atlanta, I kind of realized I was wasting my time there. Because I told them I wanted to be a comic book artist before I went to the school, and they was like, yeah, that's great. And soon as I got into school, they was like, you don't want to do comics. Comics is, you want to go into advertising or graphic design. And I was just like, this is not why I'm here. So I probably stayed at the Art Institute for 2 semesters, and then I left, much to chagrin of my parents. 94, 95, a friend of mine, Joe Phillips, who was here at the time, introduced me to some editors at DC Comics. They liked my stuff and, ended up giving me my first job. And I didn't look back from that point on. I spend most of my time here, in the studio. And, but I love it. Every day I get up, get to make my own hours. As long as I meet my deadline, nobody cares. When I work, how I work, what I work in. There's a lot of artists of color, in comics and doing well. So, and from what I could see, if you're talented, you're going to get work. People, love good art. That's kind of a driving force of comics, good writing and good art. I want to give them like the best. I want them to like, man, when Dexter inked me, he killed it, like nobody else. So that's my focus, just like giving them the best. I don't ever want a pencil to look at my work over their stuff and like, man, Dex kind of phoned this in. It's always good, when somebody comes up who, wants to be an artist or an inker, and, they'll show me some of their stuff. I give them pointers and, so thankful. I'm like, I wouldn't be here if somebody didn't help me out, So I don't mind, paying that forward. Just want to keep creating, I definitely at some point would like to do my own, create our own comic, I have a few ideas bouncing around in my head, so I just need to put pen to paper and make it happen. It's on me. My name is Dexter Vines. I'm a freelance comic book artist. This is my voice, and this is my life.